everyone, to another episode of Three from the Graves Reviews. I am the Strange Monkey, of course. You already know me. I don't need to introduce myself, which I kind of already did. But anyway, we're going to be talking about a little film called The Unnamable, one of H.P. Lovecraft's stories brought to life on the big screen. We actually have a special guest. That special guest is Slim from Midnite Monster Party. So, without wasting any more time, take it away, sir.
Congratulations.
Well, howdy party people and Three from the Gravers. Welcome to Three from the Grave. I'm Spider Island Slim, the fourth official member of Three from the Grave, and also the mad monster behind the Midnite Monster Party. And on today's review, I will be talking about 1980's The Unnamable. And The Unnamable is a film that I actually saw as a kid. And other than the last, I'd say 10 or so minutes, I actually didn't care for it, because it was one of those ones where you barely got to see the monster. And as a kid, you want to see the monster a lot, and the kind of slow burn leading up to the monster is something you more appreciate, I think, as an adult. So The Unnamable is a very loose adaptation of the H.P. Lovecraft story, The Unnamable. Really, I'd say the only similarity is kind of the setup, the scene of them talking about the Unnamable itself in the graveyard. The rest of it kind of just turns into the teens even though these are college students, same difference, but teens going into a place they're not supposed to be. Kind of the Night of the Demons style of filmmaking. Alright, first category, gore. There is a bit of gore in it, and it should, for those who enjoy their gore spattered amongst the kind of the haunted house style films, I think you'll dig it. It's got some pretty good kills and some pretty good gore. Acting. The acting, now this is an interesting thing, because there's kind of two sets of main characters. The Randolph Carter and his buddy Howard are actually quite good. Especially the Randolph Carter. He really kind of brings across that snooty, higher education kind of fellow. But then the other side of it, the frat boys and the frat girls are pretty bad. And I don't mind bad acting in a low-budget horror movie, but when you have bad acting next to good acting, you kind of notice the bad acting a bit more. Is it scary? I wouldn't necessarily say it was scary, because I remember even watching as a kid not getting creeped out. But it's got a cool atmosphere, and the vibe is kind of neat. And as I said, I love the Lovecraft-ness to it, all the little Lovecraft touches. So that alone makes it worth the lack of, I guess, traditional scares. Why? The why is simple. I am a gigantic H.P. Lovecraft fan. Literally, I'm like 90 feet tall. You just can't tell by the way I shoot this. But yeah, I love Lovecraft stuff, and I particularly like the 80s and 90s Lovecraft adaptations. Dagon, fantastic. Reanimator, Bride of Reanimator, of course, From Beyond. And I've always found it interesting that you have the Lovecraft adaptations, and I've always thought of Lovecraft's writing to be quite sophisticated and intelligent, whereas the adaptations from the 80s and 90s were often kind of gory and sleazy, which, I don't know, I dig that. I think it's neat. I bet old Lovecraft wouldn't dig that too much, though. Now, rating. I give it about 2 to 2.5 nude cat demon women out of 5. Whereas it's kind of a neat movie. I would mostly just recommend this to if you're either a huge fan of the teens going into places they're not supposed to go and getting picked off genre, or you really like kind of strange low-budget Lovecraft adaptions. This one, though, definitely falls into the what I think of is the Monster Squad failing, or the Monster Squad curse. The unrealistically weak monster. You have this monster that's like tearing people apart and pulling people around, but then she gets hit with a flashlight. Just a flashlight, and it breaks her arm. Not only does it break her arm, it compound fractures that arm, and you see bone and hair. I mean, it messes the monster up. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about earlier, but forgot it did. The monster is really cool, really neat looking. She's kind of like a hybrid between a cat girl, a demon. She's got like, it's almost like she's rotting, but has these lizard-like hands growing out of the I don't know, it's just a very neat, weird-looking, hooved, naked cat girl. Big demon monster. Unnamable. Well, that's all the time we have for this movie review, retro-ish review. Take it away, Movie Massacre. And by it, I mean that webcam you set up in my bathroom.
What's up, guys and ghouls? That was Slim's review of The Unnamable. Don't forget to subscribe to that smooth bastard down below for some phenomenal content. We are Three from the Grave. Be excellent to each other, guys. We're out.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.